Good morning, everyone. What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Fah Fah. You already know what it is. Um, Hope everybody feeling good, whatever part of the world you in. It's just a couple of things I want to talk about before I get my day started because I just think that boxing is a real weird sport, bro. And it's just real hard to move in it with like some of the conversations. Like energy is never kept the same in the sport. And basically what I'm saying is I just find it really funny how everybody expects. I'm just going straight in. Just find it very funny how everybody expects Dillian Whyte to just step aside. So what? For what? Why? If I was Dillian Whyte or I was the people who work for Dillian Whyte, why would you step aside? Why? Hope that makes sense. Because so what? The fans could get what they're asking for. So you mean to tell me now, over all of the things that has happened since 2008, 2018, I'd say end of 2018, early 2019, the fans just supposed to be like, the fans are supposed to put more emphasis on the step aside now than ever before. Why? Because it's Dillian Whyte, boxing's freaking favorite black sheep. Like, come on, bro. No, he should not step aside. What is it going to take away from? What great viewership, excuse me, is it taking away from any of the fans for Dillian Whyte to step aside? So what, you're going to get an Otto Wallen versus Dillian Whyte fight. That's about to pop off. If he makes it through that, then he has his mandatory for Tyson Fury. Is that a bad fight? Is that not a good heavyweight fight? Is Dillian Whyte not a top 5 heavyweight? Is Dillian Whyte not rated above Deontay Wilder currently where I sit him? Absolutely. We just saw him get destroyed. And I just find it really funny how nobody put that same type of emphasis on Deontay Wilder step aside. It was just outcries of people saying that Deontay Wilder needed to step aside because of the obvious. Not because, not because he's been already, in that position for however long he was in and he just should just randomly step aside. No, it's because he got his fucking ass whooped. That's why everybody wanted to step aside. They wanted him to step aside, excuse me. And out of 19 out of 22 rounds, you could clearly see that Tyson Fury had pretty much owned Deontay Wilder's whole heart and soul. There's nothing he could do about it. He had Deontay Wilder's whole freaking ego shoved in his back pocket. That's why everybody was cool with the step aside and going through with undisputed. And might I add you the fact that, when it came down to it, Deontay Wilder lost, Anthony Joshua lost. So people weren't trying to let it go to the wayside because that fight, I repeat, that fight was the biggest thing heavyweight boxing had to offer currently and historically. I put any amount of money I got in the bank on that. Due to what Deontay Wilder's right hand was considered to the boxing world, and a lot of us hardcore fans under speculation, we believed him to be kind of a hard hitter, really wasn't brought to the surface on anyone of credible mention. So when I hear people sitting up there and they just like, yo, this man already been on the sideline for basically 3 damn years, talking about he should step aside, and those who say they want the best to fight the best, if you don't want Dillian Whyte to step aside, you are all cap when it comes to the boxing world. No, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. I think it just kind of falls into the place of just some American butthurt shit. At the end of the day, if anybody can raise their hand and tell me who's got a better resume in the heavyweight division outside of Anthony Joshua, when it comes to Dillian Whyte, I'll wait. And then you might make a believer out of me of why you should step aside for the so-called best to fight the best. Because I do believe even currently in the state that boxing is in right now, in the heavyweight division, considering that the drain is unclogged, you are still getting the best, fighting the best. I mean, I'm just saying, am I right or am I wrong? If y'all thought Deontay Wilder was the best, you just witness him get his whole freaking head cave in and just watch him choke on a whole Matrix red pill. If it came down to Tyson Fury, you just got to witness him fight as well. Isn't Tyson Fury going to need some time off? Isn't he going to need some time to recoup? Isn't he going to want to spend time with his family, considering, you know, boxers completely cut their whole aspect of their life off? And they do want to get back to that after they have a main event title shot, but you guys are already ushering his name into an undisputed match that you ain't even heard how Tyson Fury would even feel. Has Tyson Fury said anything about stepping aside? Has Tyson Fury said anything about not entertaining the Dillian Whyte fight? What is the issue here? Because regardless of whatever, you still got to wait for Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua. So how are you and how are all of these fucking idiots who are sitting up here running the Twitter, those who some who I respect, you know who you are, other ones who just talking out the side of your ass, how can you sit up there and just say, oh, you want the best to fight the best? When clearly Anthony Joshua was tied up, Alexander Usyk is tied up, and a rematch clause. So what's the problem here? Can we not for once, sit back and watch something play out that makes absolute sense? For once, it makes sense to see all of this shit play out exactly the way it's going to play out. You don't have to move shit out the way. You don't have to freaking feel some type of way about whatever type of viewership you're getting. The only thing that went wrong in this whole situation is Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua would have won, there would be no issues. But he didn't win. So you have another 4 months. Plus, I mean, shit, they're not even going to fight until the spring. I guarantee it. Spring of 2022. Nothing about this is going to change. So why are you thinking all of a sudden that you're just going to get this undisputed title fight? I just think that people seriously have a problem with Dillian Whyte stylistically on the American side of the street. I don't know for whatever reason that is. I just think whenever it comes to the guys that are in the top 2 or the top 3, they might feel like he come up short or whatever. But didn't Marvin Hagler go through the same type of shit? But y'all love motherfucking Marvin Hagler, right? No. You never loved Marvin Hagler. You only appreciated him until he was in the twilight of his career, until until the curtains were already ready to close. And then you could honestly look back with honest interpretation on what type of career he had. Because let's be serious, between him, probably him, he was probably the bastard of the Fab Four. The one that was more rugged, more blue collar, the kind that brings his construction hat and lunch pail to work with him to the ring type guy. Yeah, he was probably the least loved out of the Fab Four. Some could argue that, but I mean, shit, history don't lie. Look at the route he had to go. While everybody else was getting $50,000, $100,000, $1 million fights, this motherfucker was fighting for $5,000, $10,000 at a time. Not saying Dillian Whyte is fighting for pennies. It's just what I'm saying. People have a tendency to forego skill set or forego the constant ability to go back to back to back fighting the best there that's available to you to put you in to the driver's seat that you're in. Now let's not forget this here. Dillian Whyte had to take the toughest road because he wouldn't even be no closer to this situation if he wouldn't have done it any different. Am I lying? That motherfucker had to go, and every fight, there was no breaks. Where the Furies could fight the Pionettas, the Tom Schwartz, the unheralded, unknown Otto Wallins at the time, the Sefer Safaris, barely filling up 3,000 seats in American arenas. While he was doing that at the time, what was Dillian Whyte doing? He's having to fight the Joseph Parkers, having to fight the Oscar Reeveses of the world, the Povetkins. I'm just saying. It don't add up. All I'm saying is, for once you have real competition in the heavyweight division and people are just expecting you to just move these stupid ass mountains in front of progress. Like, I feel like people are trying to halt progress right now. Regardless, the mandatory situation is going to be there. Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte is a huge fight. Whether your blind asses can't see it or not, it's a huge fight, and it's a fight that should be appreciated. And I don't think people should be throwing salt on it. I think this man's name got salt thrown on it enough. Now, if in boxing we talking about keeping it 100, stating the facts, keeping the same energy, keeping it a buck, however people like to perceive it. All I'm saying is I think people are being very disingenuous when they saying shit like this. Because I don't think it comes to a point where I really got to ask, do people even appreciate what they see out of the guy? And honestly, how do you appreciate other individuals like Deontay Wilder that much more when Deontay Wilder isn't as proven as him? The only thing that separates Deontay Wilder from Dillian Whyte is the fact that he was a world champion. But why was he a world champion? He was a world champion that said that he wanted to be one face, one name, who sat on the sideline. He is the same one world champion who told Dillian Whyte that he would freeze him out for 2 years. Not the world champion that fought everybody who came his way. So why the hate? Don't make no sense to me, man. Brian Harkin, salute. Says Fury versus Whyte will sell out Old Trafford. It will, man. And you put that fight anywhere over in the UK, man, it's going to sell out a stadium. It's going to sell out an arena. It's going to do a lot of sales. And to be perfectly honest, even when it comes to the American market, a lot of hardcore fans are going to pay for that. And a lot of people and casual fans are going to pay for it too, just because of Tyson Fury. It comes to the point to where if you are a name in boxing and you're going up against somebody who some people might not be familiar with, I don't know how you can be in the boxing world and not be in, or be in the heavyweight boxing and not know who Dillian Whyte is. But it just comes down to the point where even casual fans, they're going to look and see who we fighting. And if they might not have been invested before, they're going to look at this dude like, oh shit, this dude is a real killer. They're going to look at the highlights. Oh shit, this dude knocks motherfuckers the fuck out. And in that, and they'll come familiar. They'll become familiar that fast, regardless of whatever. I see over 300,000 people buying it in the States, and I definitely see 1 million plus buying it overseas. So what is the issue here? John Fury saying for Fury not to fight Whyte. And you want to know why he's saying that, titanium rubber? Because it's a dangerous fight. In the same way Frank Warren is telling Dillian Whyte that he shouldn't fight Otto Wallen because it's a dangerous fight. Ain't that about a bitch? But I understand why Frank Warren is doing it, because I was about to put out a video on behalf of the whole article and everything. Frank Warren is saying that Dillian Whyte should not fight Otto Wallen because of it's an uphill battle. Southpaw, long, decent power, you know. I mean, he ain't proven to me. I don't see it as a difficult fight. I mean, just because you lose to Tyson Fury and you beat Dominic Brazil doesn't make you proven to me. I mean, the dude has only won an EBU, a European Union title in his whole career. Okay? I mean, but I understand where Frank Warren is coming from, because speaking from a promoter's perspective, Frank Warren was simply stating how big the fight is. Frank Warren knows how big Fury versus Whyte is, and they know how big it is in the UK, and it makes a lot of sense. So he doesn't feel like he should fight Wallen based on his mandatory status towards Tyson Fury. It's big money. Any promoter can see the dollar amount in it if you're involved with if any of these two's careers is tangible in line with yours. You can see the dollar amount in it. The only other people that can't see the money, can't see the magnitude of the fight, is hating ass American motherfuckers. Because when Deontay Wilder was in that exact same position, nobody wanted Deontay Wilder to step aside on the American side of the ball. When all of the hardcore boxing fans of the world were crying for undisputed, all the American fans and all of the American pundits and shit like that, they wanted Deontay Wilder to keep the belt, go through arbitration, and felt like this shit was never going to happen because they wanted to speak in an existence that it wouldn't happen. Wasn't like it's like, let's be serious here, bro. when it comes to impeding progress, it seems like people only want it to happen when it's on the UK side of the street. When it comes to American boxing or American boxing minds, face it. The dude in America who y'all thought could get it done can't get it done, man. It's time to move on. This is the world of boxing. I'm just saying, though. Shout out to George, the angry old man. He said the Fab Four should be the Fab Five with Benitez. But aside from that, Hagler is the black sheep. That's facts. And even in some circumstances, people could say it's like a Fab Six for real, because we can't forget about my man Barkley, who went through hella wars with Tommy Hitman Hearns and the rest of them boys. So at the end of the day, it's like that whole era was just different. But like, let's look at it though. We know Marvin Hagler was that bastard black sheep when it came to the Fab Four, man. And how did he get treated on his road to trying to go for world titles? That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, I feel like Dillian Whyte might be one of those fighters who just doesn't get the level of appreciation he gets while he's here. Why? I don't know. What the fuck? Is motherfuckers obsessing over the way he look? What, he ugly to y'all fucking faggot motherfuckers or something? What he like? What is it? Something on his nose or something that I can't see? What did he do? Something? Did he hurt you internally or something like that? Did Dillian Whyte fuck your mom or something? Like, I'm trying to figure it out, because it don't make no sense why this man gets so much hate, where everybody just try to push. And if it's so easy to do, why not just get it out the way? That's another thing I don't understand. If he's such a bum, if he's a bust, if he doesn't deserve to be rightfully set amongst the top five, when other top five heavyweights can't even mirror the type of success that he's had in his heavyweight career, all I'm saying is this: why not just get him out the way? Easier said than done, right? Must be. Come on, man. Salute to the inside line. Appreciate you, bro. Fish, what's goody? Let me get these shout outs out the way. Titanium Brother, what's goody? Timmy Nealon, what's goody? Says Fury vs. White should be next. Huge fight over here. Extremely huge fight. Bro, that's the type of fight that I would fly over for. And as far as I know right now, hey, man, not mandated to take any jump shots, so I'd be more than willing to fly for that. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's just domestic level though. I need to check into that. But I would fly over ASAP for a Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury fight. Come on now, like let's really think about this, guys. If Frank Warren is even speaking to how big the fight is and talking about that Dillian Whyte should maybe pass up on an Otto Wallin fight because of the magnitude of the fight, what does that say if Frank Warren ain't even hating on the prospect of Tyson Fury fighting a Dillian Whyte? Because it comes to a point in time to where everybody, I don't care if your respective practice, promotional outfit, whoever you're aligned with, Top Rank, Matchroom, The Zone, whether you with the Duvas, whether, you know what I'm saying, you with the Bella, you know what I'm saying, promotion, whether you're with one of the smaller promotional outfits to the biggest ones, Salitas, it doesn't matter. I think that everybody who has some form of hand on the boxing world and its business would have to see, hey, if you're involved in it, you see the money in it, and you just got to understand, bro, it comes to the point where, look, the practice of boxing has never been fucking fair, but look, man, the only thing genuine, and well, that's supposed to be genuine in this sport is the fucking mandatory slot, bro. Let's not continue to fuck that up as well, because then what do you have left at that point? Come on, man. Oh, yeah, I think he knocks him Spark out. I think it's a real easy fight for Dillian Whyte. And I like the way he look under his new trainer for real. And as fast as he's coming along, like, look, man, Dillian Whyte is only getting better. And people got to understand that Dillian Whyte was a baby in this situation, doing MMA, kickboxing, all types of wild other shit, fucking around in the streets, getting in trouble and stuff before he ever even became a boxer. And it says a lot about, you know what I'm saying, his ability to catch on and pick up on game, considering the amount of amateur fights he has and considering the level of opposition that he consistently faced since what, Lucas Brown? Shit, he fought Anthony Joshua in the 14th fight. So all I'm saying is, man, look, game recognized game at the end of the day. And I'm just an individual who happens to recognize game. And I hear a lot of people that say that they're unbiased and all of this type of stuff. Well, if you're unbiased, you would be able to unbiasedly look at the facts and understand that it's just homie time, man. It's been homie's time. So I'm not going to sit here. I won't be the one to say on my platform that I think that he needs to step aside for Usyk versus Fury fight, because that's not the biggest fucking fight in the world for me. Is it a big heavyweight fight? Absolutely. But is it the biggest fight in the world because it's undisputed? No, it's not. No, it's not. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, huge at the time. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, huge. Alexander Usyk, as far as his placement and fan likeness and in the public and stuff like that, because we got a lot of frauds in the boxing world who don't really pay attention. He's got a little bit more work to do, even as the unified heavyweight champion of the world. He ain't as popular as them. Shit, he's not even as popular as Dillian Whyte. I don't be saying shit to be saying shit. I just speak it for what it really is. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying, man. I mean, I was about to say fair is fair, but I guess motherfuckers don't give a fuck about fair in boxing. Never really have. Cheaty, what's goody with the bro? Appreciate you with the super chat, my guy. He said, what's up with my homie Two Hands, man? Just conversing on, just my frustrations with the fact that, who was it? Ishe, who was it? Ishe. Was it Ishe? Yeah, it was Ishe Smith was the one who put out that damn tweet talking about, as boxing fans or enthusiasts, we're all capped because we say we want the best to fight the best, but we don't want Dillian Whyte to step aside. So you can't say that you want the best to fight the best and you don't want Dillian Whyte to step aside. So he's saying that we all capped for saying something like that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, because Ishe Smith didn't feel the same way when Deontay Wilder was in that position. Can somebody pull up a tweet where Ishe Smith said Deontay Wilder need to step aside so Tyson Fury can fight Anthony Joshua? Can somebody please find me that tweet? Or has Ishe Smith ever put out a tweet that in that manner? And I got respect and love for the champ. You know what I mean? I like how, for that little bit of time he put foot in the LDBC for thinking he should be one of their cronies or they little freaking little puppets or whatever, and let them play puppet master. So I got respect for Ishe. I got respect for his career, some level. He's a world champion. Got to respect those things. You know what I'm saying? Be able to take care of his family. That's some dope shit. But at the end of the day, was Ishe Smith saying this same shit when Deontay Wilder was the world champion, and it benefited Premier Boxing Champions for Deontay Wilder to be in that position? Because I do believe that's been his stable for forever. I do believe he's been money team for forever. I do believe the only thing that, has existed, the only thing that sticks around, the money team gym more than freaking, more than the goddamn letters on the freaking building itself is Ishe Smith. So there isn't. So is this agenda driven or is this just genuine? What is it? What do y'all think it is? Sorry, fella, but basically, if the Yanks ain't playing, there's no game in their eyes. Damn paid shells. Hey, man, you don't got to say sorry to me, Fish. I just said it. I just said, man, I just think it's a point. Where just American, when it comes to the American boxing market, where it's just like, yo, if we not involved or if it's just not their usual, America runs boxing shit, we got a problem with that. Well, look, let's be quite honest here. America hasn't run boxing for quite some time now. And if you had a problem with the tradition, you would have jumped on a fast track of finding some type of people or changing your business models to change it. So, like, look, man, and I'm sure I can understand why a lot of American, fighters or American or people that are tied into just the American boxing world, period, would have a problem with that, because the American business model hasn't been the best fighting the best. When over in Europe, it has. I don't see no American fighters doing, you know what I'm saying, on the Joel D, even though Joel Diaz is an American trainer, I don't see any American fighters on that type of program that goddamn Israel Madrimov and the nigga who was it? What's his last name? The dude that's about to fight Jamal James for the WBA regular title in like 8 fights, and MJ Akhmadali ever doing, fighting for world titles in under 10 fights. I don't believe them to be doing it the Lomachenko or the Usyk way. I'm just saying. And them boys from Ukraine, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see a lot of American fighters doing it the Ukrainian way. I don't see a lot of fans doing it the British way. American fighters doing it the British way. How many American fighters can actually you go through, and besides one person and a whole bunch of fillers say, oh, consistently, there is a high level opposition back to back to back to back. So of course you're going to be number 2. Y'all basing all y'all shit off popularity and some WWE shit. Smoke and mirrors. Like at the end of the day, it just boils down to this. When it comes to the heavyweight division, you guys have lost your stranglehold on it. And your stranglehold recently, from 2014 and beyond, 2015 and 2014 when Deontay Wilder won his title from Bermain Stavern, I can't remember. But I do believe from that point and beyond, and even in the infancy of Deontay Wilder's championship run, y'all were calling him a baby. Had him sitting on training wheels. You lost your hold on the heavyweight division. Facts. I've already did a video blasting Andre Ward on his BS. It's evident. You can look, I don't care who's top 5 heavyweight, wherever you look. There's only probably going to be 1 or 2 people there if you're delusional. I mean, there should be no more than 1 person there for real. And I ain't talking about Deontay Wilder, because he ain't the top 5 heavyweight to me. I think Andy Ruiz is a little bit better. So at the end of the day, I'm saying, how many guys are reigning in the top 5 in American boxing, period, in the heavyweight division? What, maybe 1, maybe 2, depending on how they got the rankings moved around. But all I see is Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua. Am I missing something? That's 4 right there. That's 4 right there, ladies and gentlemen. So there would be only 1 spot left to fill. And you can't fill that with 2 goddamn heavyweight fat asses or 2 heavyweight egos. So at the end of the day, the UK is running heavyweight boxing. That's not me speaking for personal feelings. That's just facts. And if anybody got a problem with that, motherfucker have a problem with certain people getting their ass whooped. I'm just saying, having a problem with people coming up short. Look, man, American boxing is going to be good, bro. It's going to be good, no matter how you slice it. Jared Big Baby Anderson is coming up. America is good. Everybody gets their turn in this shit. But to act like you got a solid leg to stand on when you speaking on Dillian Whyte stepping aside, you don't fucking have one. I'm sorry. Yeah, that damn sure ain't America. Usyk. Fury got the other one. So what does that say about the heavyweight division? America don't run shit. At the end of the day, you can't, if anybody is serious about Dillian Whyte stepping aside, just slap the shit out yourself and then just know whatever reason you have behind that, it would fall on deaf ears and a lack of understanding when it comes to me. That's all I'm saying. Credit ringing Mark, but I agree 100%. If AJ won't step aside, watch Dillian Whyte. My point exactly. And then, like I said, you know, in a lot of people's eyes, the best is already proven, but I feel like there's a lot of groundwork left to be done. And we're in a renaissance period in the heavyweight division to where any one of these dudes, it is proven, any one of these guys could beat any one of each other on any given night. That's heavyweight boxing. So it would be better for the fans. It'd be better for the viewership. It'd be better for boxing alone. The more drama, the better. The more drama, more viewership. Because a lot of people aren't going to jump on board with the first fight. A lot of people ain't going to jump on board with Anthony Joshua versus Usyk rematch, or whoever Tyson Fury might fight next, or whoever people are fighting. But these motherfuckers mixing it up amongst one another with great wars, and you talking about the top 5 in heavyweight boxing, bro, that creates stories, man. That creates a historic timeline of a great era. So, in all honesty, I just feel like there should just be a level of appreciation for the level of talent that's really there, and it ain't no fucking Doctor Strange, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking Doctor Mysterio, Spider-Man type Marvel Comics fucking sorcery bullshit going on. It just really is what it is. These guys are hyper talented, and you got Hergovich, you got Anderson, you got Yoka, shit. And then if you even look in the bottom tiers of the freaking top 10, top 15, you still got a whole bunch of other guys, Caballero, shit, Pulev, and all of these other guys still around that can make decent fights. So at the end of the day, I just feel like we are, for once, again, enriched with talent that spread, that transcends not just the American market, but it transcends just the world of boxing and every market that has to do with it alike, in such a positive light to where it works out better for boxing. Do you want just one good fight, or do you want several good fights amongst great competition? Because for real, when I felt like because the type of energy I feel like people are expending when it comes to the Dillian Whyte conversation, why didn't you expend that type of energy when Deontay Wilder turned down $100 fucking million? Can somebody explain that shit? Explain that shit. If you got all of this energy to talk about what Dillian Whyte should be doing, why ain't the fuck y'all have that same type of energy when fucking Deontay Wilder turned down $100 million and quite arguably the biggest fight heavyweight boxing would have ever had to put together in this era or anyone you want to think of? And that's saying a lot. That's saying a hell of a lot. Because motherfuckers moved some tickets back in the day, Jack. Shout out to Dempsey. Pun intended. How the fuck Fury going up in the pound for pound rankings after beating Wilder for the 3rd time over 2 years? ESPN partial. Yeah, man. Like, I think it's funny because after Anthony Joshua reclaimed his titles back, they had him sitting at like number 6 and number 5 or some shit like that, and had Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who hadn't even met for their second fight and wasn't gonna meet for their second fight. What? Hold on. Anthony Joshua and Andrew Ruiz 2 happening when? Was that it was in between October and December of 2020 or 2021. Whatever the case it may be, within that same year, when Fury wasn't fighting Deontay Wilder in the second fight until February 22nd. And why was that? Why the hell was the Ring magazine? Well, I understand. I guess I can understand why they did it. But the Ring magazine title was on the line with the WBC. Why wasn't that on the line for the unified titles? I'm just saying, but I guess people consider those the best 2 heavyweights in the world. A guy who has beat absolutely nobody, and Fury, who came off the couch fucking from starching fucking a couple of bums. But hey, this is the type of world we live in boxing. So look, if it comes down from them trickling down to us, if they can't get their shit right, I'm probably even doing the most right now, expecting boxing fans to even have somewhat of a realistic hold on how they supposed to feel when it comes to situations like this. Good morning, Arlen. How you feeling? This shit is crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. I want several great fights. I don't want just a fucking one-off based off of some fucking emo American crowd where people are like, oh, Dillian Whyte, fuck him. You know, it should just be Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. Well, what fucking, or Usyk or Joshua, what fucking stock do you have in fucking Alexander Usyk all of a sudden? What stock did any of these American motherfuckers have in Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, or Tyson Fury? And the only reason they even feel somewhat connected with Dillian, I feel like they feel like, excuse me, I feel they're somewhat connected with Tyson Fury just based off of the fact because he's been fighting on the American soil recently, and they would rather like him than respect Anthony or respect Usyk or anybody else for that matter. I don't fucking know. American fight fans are sickos, man. And just the practice of American boxing is not something that I feel as though hardcore American boxing fans resonate with. So if I feel like you're a real hardcore boxing fans, you're gonna respect the guys over in America that's really doing something, but you're gonna have more of a love and more of an appreciation for how they get down over in the UK. Because I think they maintaining the traditions of boxing, where America is trying to, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Y'all know how Leonard Ellaby, Al Heyman, and y'all know how the rest of these motherfuckers is trying to flip it. Like, I'm not saying something that is out of bounds here, and I'm in no way, you know what I'm saying, treasonous or being a traitor to my own country by saying this. These are just the facts. And that's all I'm trying to say. So I just feel like Ishe, you know what I mean? He jumping out the window talking that dumb shit to me, man. And can't nobody tell me he ain't, man. For real. But that's all I got, man. I got to get ready to get up and go to work, man. So I just wanted to get that out there. Listen, man. Stop expecting Dillian Whyte, bro, to give up everything that he has worked his ass off for, and the people that you champion for didn't even do a quarter of the work or wasn't even risking traveling the road that Dillian Whyte traveled to be in this mandatory position. Because I'm here to tell you motherfuckers this. It wasn't easy. It wasn't given to him. And it ain't just like some situations to where some people fighting some guy who's came off the freaking couch, who's been inactive for a year and some changes, some shit like that, and just getting ushered into title fights. Because there's been a lot of that this year too. So at the end of the day, man, we all, as we always say at the end of the shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Appreciate boxing for what it is. Appreciate the great heavyweight talent that you have now for what it is. And just, man, stop asking so much of Dillian Whyte, because you might not be able to appreciate the talent, the skill set, and the levels that are there, or maybe you're just not watching it at all. And you know what I'm saying? Expected more out of him than you expected out of a 19 out of 22 rounds beating Deontay Wilder, is all I'm saying. Everybody have a great morning. As I always tell y'all motherfuckers, y'all stars, go out and shine like one. I got an edit coming for y'all later today. Yeah, Reaper Gang shit. It's the motherfucking boss. Respect.